Hello and welcome to the final of the British Carp Angling Championships 2018. This is the 5th year we've been at this fantastic venue called Wraysbury, and what a lineup of anglers we have got for you. We've got some very familiar faces, a pair of anglers that have been in this final 6 times. We've got 2 times champions in the previous 2 years, Mark Bartlett, Kev Hewitt. It's going to be a final to remember.
Great anglers here fishing this weekend. Like, we're in the final, we're in the draw, an half decent peg.
Who knows?
Maybe not.
We can dream, can't we?
We're really hoping this is the year. We came close a couple of years ago, came second. Just need that extra little bit of luck in the final, hopefully. We've fished together for about 17, 18 years now. And going from like float fishing at our local ponds to becoming British champions would be like a dream. I know it's a bit of a cliche, but it would be a dream come true for us.
Whoever wins, flat out deserve it. It's a great competition. If they win it, then we'll be happy for anybody that wins it. It's a dream to win it once, let alone twice. And like freeze, like I say, it's a big ask. But we're here, we're going to fish, crank the barbecue up, and just generally have a great weekend, enjoy it, and be happy for whoever does well, really.
Like Bart and Kev, they've won it as best mates together. I want to feel what they felt winning it with your best mate. It's not, people, they fish with people that they know are good or whatever. They might not have known each other that long, but when you're basically brothers and you don't even have to talk to each other, you just gel, you just flow, and to be able to win it together it'd be amazing. Be quite,
sure there'd be some tears.
Yeah. Yeah.
Joining me on the bank this weekend, we have England manager Rob Hughes. Rob, what are your feelings on this weekend then?
Well, for a start, it's brilliant to be here. It's going to be noisy with the old planes going over from Heathrow. We're just down the road from Heathrow, but it's going to be brilliant. The weather for a start, what a great bit of weather we've got.
It's looking good.
Overcast, it's still quite warm, we've got a nice breeze. Yeah. The lake is in fantastic condition, and my word, we've got a brilliant lineup as well, haven't we?
We have, yeah. The lake has been fishing well from what people we've spoken to, the locals and things that are down here. It's been fishing really well. It's anybody's game this weekend, isn't it? Really is anybody's game.
Yeah. We'll see what happens with the draw. It's going to be interesting to see who ends up where.
Yeah. So come on then, Hughesy. Who's your favourite in this lineup?
It's very, very difficult to pick, isn't it, when you've got a lot of talent as we've got here. But, immediately the ones that spring out are the England team, without any shadow of a doubt. They're always going to be up there. The defending champions, they are absolutely deadly. Yeah. But I've got to say that the likes of Luke Church and Kev Grout are amazingly consistent. They've been here a number of times. They've won the team event before. Luke Church has actually he's won the championships with the previous partner. So they are mustard. And the other one, like Lewis and Jack as well, amazingly consistent.
Unbelievably consistent. So consistent.
But the draw is the big decider, isn't it? When they pull their pegs, if they don't get either a decent peg or alternatively a peg that suits their style of fishing, that's where they're going to struggle. So really is a difficult one. To pin the tail on the donkey with so many decent people in it is really, really tough.
So competition started, peg 17, Lee Baker and Rich Seeds. This is the peg that won it last year, Rob. What are your thoughts on it this year?
Well, it's looking pretty good again, to be honest. You know, in the run-up to the competition, there were a few people saying that this wasn't as good as it was last year, partly because the water level's down and also partly because we've had a bit of a cold snap and the fish were starting to move away from it. They've been sitting in the middle of the lake, but actually through the course of last night while we were down here and also this morning, I've seen a few fish in this corner.
I've seen them down here as
well.
well.
They love this weed. And if you look at it, you know, I've got to say that if I was coming fishing today, this would be one of the pegs that I'd look at going into. There's weed, there's wind, the weather's looking good, almost everything is right for it, plus of course it's got pedigree.
So Rich, start of the match, this was the winning peg last year.
Yep.
Okay, that's got your confidence going a little bit.
Confidence and a bit of pressure. I mean, it's half the size of last year because obviously I put another peg in this year, so that might change it, the dynamics of it a bit. But we're just keeping it as simple as possible. Like, we've heard a few things like about where the spots are and sort of the going areas and stuff like that. So we're starting off down towards the shallower area during the day. Hopefully we can nick a quick bite, at least put a little bit of bait out.
Yeah, we saw Lee spotting out a little bit of bait earlier. Is that an early plan or?
Yeah, just so that if everybody else is struggling for any spots or that, it might just help us, might push a couple in there for the afternoon, and if we've got a bit there already, then we're not making loads of commotion. Then we might be able to get off to an early start of any luck. But
so that's your plan at the minute. Try and nick an early bite and try and build something.
Yeah,
from
just
that.
to try and get your confidence up, get a bite at least, then take it from there. Really,
it's that all important first bite.
That's it,
settles the nerves, gets the confidence going on what you're doing, and that brings on the match from there. Doesn't it?
Hopefully so. Yeah, with any luck. Yeah.
Brilliant. Well, good luck in it, and hopefully we'll see you later on.
Yeah, thank you very much.
So there we go, Rob. First fish landed, peg 3.
Absolutely, we've just got the report coming in through the radio that there was a fish on. By the time we've trotted round here, it's just been landed, and that's one of the points I was making earlier. If they get bites, they're going to get them in quick because they haven't got that issue with weed. And we've not seen the fish yet, but it's the first one, and it means that these guys are now in the lead.
That's right, yeah, and it's they've stated it's only a small fish. There's quite a lot of stocky fish in here, so it could be quite possibly one of the stockies that have been caught from this area. But yeah, first fish is going to settle the nerves, and this was the peg that everybody wanted, wasn't it, Rob?
So, weighing procedure now, and the fish is going to go into the sling. The sling has been put onto the scales, it's been zeroed, and this is a vitally important part.
It's a nice fish, nice mirror carp there, Rob.
Yeah, absolutely. It's one of the younger, smaller fish in the lake. It'll be a big fish in the future. There's a lot of food in here for them. But the British Carp Champs, the winner will be decided by the pairing that's caught the biggest weight of fish. It's not numbers.
It's combined weight. That's
combined
right.
weight of fish. So the weighing procedure is vitally important. We see the fish is being transferred from one sling to another on the unhooking mat. The unhooking mat makes sure that it doesn't touch the floor. Marshall's just checking that its fins are back in the right position. We don't want to bend its little elbows back now, do we?
No.
And it'll now be put onto scales, and we'll see exactly how heavy this fish is.
Slightly larger than what we thought, I think.
15 there.
14, 15.
16.10.
16.10. And that puts these guys £16.10 ahead of everyone else. So Ian, we're back with you. You've had the first fish of the competition. Confidence got to be buzzing a little bit now.
Yeah, definitely on a high at the minute.
Yeah.
Little one, but you know, first one's always good to get.
Were these the tactics that you came in with, or was it an opportune sort of bite? Was there anything that you'd changed about what you'd started with?
Well, we'd found a few areas, and we were going to bait up a few spots to try and bounce fish between them, and we'd gone with bait on each one of those areas apart from one, and just to try and buy a quick bite, I decided to put a solid bag out on it, just see what happened, and it's gone after 10 minutes.
So buy a solid bag for the viewers at home. A solid bag is a small PVA bag that mounts that you've put some bait in, is that right?
Yep.
And
just a bit of pellet and a little wafter.
And that was it?
That's it.
Are you going to change much now? Are you going to change your other rods all over to the same tactic?
Not at the minute. I'm going to obviously put that bag back out in where it was and see what happens. If it goes again, or if we're not getting any activity on the actual bait, then yeah,
maybe swap them all over.
Yeah.
These are always the decisions that got to be made in these swims.
Exactly.
I'm sure you're going to sort it out with your partner. Good luck anyway, and hopefully we're back with you again later on, and you're going to have a few more of those beautiful fish on the bank.
Thank you. Cheers.
So a quick dash around the lake, Rob. We're back in peg 6. Mark Bartlett, Kev Hewitt have landed their first fish.
Well, it was always on the cards, wasn't it? There's fish up there. Getting the bite was never going to be the issue. Getting it through the weed was going to be the issue, and they've done it without the assistance of the boat, which I've got to say that is very, very good angling. Getting a fish through that over there is brilliant, and it shows the quality of these lads. £32. My word. £32. That's
be
carrying
happy
a
with
bit of weight, isn't it? Wow. Blimey, £32. We thought that was 20 something. It
looked
turns
good
out
in
to
the
be
net, didn't it?
32.
It did look good.
Bang.
They're going to be very happy
You
with
know,
that. as a
anything
start.
over a 30, it's not just a nice fish because it's a 30, but it's a 2-fish capture.
That's right.
Because the majority of fish in here aren't 30-pounders, so if someone's going to catch these up, they've got to catch 2 fish now. Good skills.
So look at that, Rob. That fantastic looking fish in great condition. Look. So I'm in the peg at the moment with Mark Bartlett and Kev Hewitt. Mark, you've just landed a 32-pound mirror. You've got to be buzzing with that this early in the match. You know, it's been quite a slow start. There's only been one other fish caught at £16.10, and you two have just busted out a 32.
Yeah, it was a corker. To be fair, nice like zip linear. The fish coming on really well in here now. They're actually getting, you know, a lot of them are getting quite a lot bigger. We're only fishing 3 rods. You're allowed 4, but we've only got really spots for 3, so we just felt like we'd keep one out the way, and if we feel the need, we'll put another one somewhere else.
See, that to people at home would sound a bit bizarre. You're almost lessening your chances by having less rods in the water, but you feel that it's better to have less rods in the water because of the area you're fishing.
Yeah, for sure. Like, you know, you just, no matter what swim you get, if you've got room for 4 and you generally think you can get bites off of 4 rods, then fish 4. Like we spoke about, you can't force a bite in this peg. You've got to sort of sit on your hands, wait, and sort of like let it develop itself. We've had an early bite. I mean, that doesn't mean anything at the moment. Don't get me wrong, it is a lovely, lovely carp
And
to go into the
for the
first night
third
with.
year running, you are leading the British Championships.
Yeah, that's not a bad place to be.
It's not, no.
Yeah, so it's a long time to go yet.
So the scores on the doors for the first evening are: in first place, Bartlett and Hewitt with 2 fish for £47 4 ounces. In second place, we have Buckman and Evans with 1 fish for £17 4. In third place, Geese and Jevons with 1 fish for £16 10. And in fourth place, Mansford and Need with 1 fish for £14 15. So we've moved into darkness, so let's have a quick summary of the day. Rob, 5 fish landed and a couple of fish lost.
Absolutely, yeah. And, you know, let's start off with our defending champions. 2 fish for them.
I know, yeah.
What an amazing start.
Not only that, one of them being a 32, which with the other fish that have been caught is 2 of the other fish that have been caught. So,
absolutely. So, you know, they're effectively on 3 fish now, which is brilliant. That was a stunning fish as well. And, you know, you can never write them off. They're in a place that they don't really fancy, but they're up there. Let's have a look at the other England lads as well, which is Wayne and Ryan. They've caught one just on dusk. They'll have more through the course of the night.
They will, where they're fishing, they'll have definitely. They've seen a lot of fish. They've managed a very spectacular cast, and it shows the quality of the angler. The cast that they're doing is, for most people, it'd be near on impossible.
Well, I think one of the keys there, when we look at what Wayne's doing in particular, he's left-handed.
That's right.
So he can get round that corner being left-handed. If we try and do it as a right-hander, you can't reach round that corner.
Not only that, he's casting, and then as it's in the air, he lets go of the rod, holds the very end of the rod and folds it out further to get it in spot. And that's the calibre of these guys. That's why they're England international.
Absolutely, doing really, really well there. Russ and Ian, they had that first fish. They've not had another one since, but I think they've got chances through the night as well.
There's been fish showing in front of them, and then obviously Gareth and Simon have had a fish in the styles. So we have actually had fish from all over the lake, which is showing that the fish are very spread out. They're not in one big clump, which is going to make it a really good, interesting match.
Be interesting to see what happens in this bottom corner actually as well with Richard and Lee.
That's
you know,
right,
last year's winning peg. Looks pretty good. I still think there might be chances there. And, you know,
We've
Lee's
seen
peg
fish there, haven't we? We've seen them. I've seen them this morning.
Shallow in the mornings. And, of course, there wasn't a morning session because the competition started at 12 o'clock. So they may well catch through the course of the night. But I think in the morning, that's when they're really going to come into play.
Well, we're going to have to wait till the morning to see, Rob. So until tomorrow morning, we'll see you then. currently in peg 9, Rob. It's early morning and the boys have got a fish weeded up.
Yeah, there's a fair amount of fish up at this end of the lake at the moment. We've heard that there's been 1 or 2 other fish caught. Wayne and Ryan have caught one, and Mark and Kev have caught one. So this seems to be the place to be, but weed was always going to be a hazard. And if we just look now, we can see Simon holding a rod up, and the boat rule's been brought into action, which means that if a fish is irretrievably snagged in weed, the marshals from Wraysbury can come out and they can take the boat out and see if they can free that fish. Simon's pretty sure the fish is still on, and the guys are just going out there now. What they will do is, as carefully and as gently as they possibly can, try and clear that weed off so Simon can get a nice clean line onto that fish. We've seen it move.
Okay, so the fish is back on. Oh, these are tense moments, Rob. You know that rod's been out there quite a long time now. The marshal will have started the timer, so these boys have got 10 minutes to land this fish now. And you can see the fish just very gently making its way in.
It's exciting.
It is. I think Mark's going to get wet up to his knees now to land this fish safely.
He's actually got the other line. That's what it is. It's the other
There we
rod.
go. Is it in the net?
It's not quite in. There's a bit of weed there. It's
There's
in.
another line on it.
It's this. It's the other rod.
He'll pull that backwards. The cord's got it, and that fish is safely in the net, Rob. You can see the relief in Simeon's face as that went in.
That is a drama and a half first thing in the morning on the second day here.
Last year's runners-up, Wayne Mansford and Ryan Need. You're going to be able to get to that #1 spot.
We'll give it a good go, that's for sure. We won't rest, but it's the kind of swim that you can't really force a bite. You've got to set your stall out and wait and let the carp play their part.
There is fish down there, so fingers crossed we can have a few more.
So an exciting start to the morning. However, last night, Rob, pretty quiet night for the lake.
Yeah, you know, pressure situations. A lot of people often think that as soon as it gets dark, it's going to fish really well. But this time of year, that's not necessarily the case. And I think that's down to the weed in the lake because bog standard photosynthesis. During the course of the night, the weed is taking oxygen out of the lake. And then first thing in the morning, it's pumping it back in again. So that's why a lot of the time at this time of year, you get that really, really good morning feeding spell. First light is so good, and everyone's disappointed they haven't caught through the night, but as soon as you get to first light, bang, off it goes. But there will always be the odd fish caught anyway, and we saw that through the night. There are an awful lot of fish showing in the middle of the lake. Russ and Ian, loads and loads of fish crashing in front of them. They're going to be into this game very, very soon. We'll see a few fish today, definitely.
So a quick dash around the lake, Rob. We're in peg 3 with Russ and Ian. They've got 2 in the slings and they're playing another one.
Absolutely, this one looks like it might be stuck in a bit of weed at the moment. He's giving it a bit of stick to try and keep it moving. He'll probably start walking back in a moment.
Judging by the tip of his rod, Rob, I would say there's some weed on that fish because it's coming in very slowly and steadily. There's no real pull. The only good side to a ball of weed like that on the fish, Rob, is it really calms the fish down and the fish will come in nice and slowly without a fight.
It will. The problem here, though, now is going to be the netting of it because you don't know whether it's the fish in the weed or the lead in the weed.
That's right, and how far back the fish can be from that weed. You can net the weed, and actually what you do is you knock the fish off. So this is a real difficult moment for him now.
Yeah. This is where the netsman now is under pressure. Oh, it's in. Oh, you saw it right at the front. That was a great bit of netting there.
That's a big ball of weed as well. So Ian's going to try and clear that weed out the net. Then we can hopefully get this fish on the bank and have a look.
Marshall's doing a good job there, straight in. Carp fishing's quite funny, really. It's long periods of inactivity punctuated by incredible periods of excitement. And let's just have a look now. Everything's all been done with this one. It's just going onto the scales now. What, 16, 17 pounds, maybe a little bit bigger. 19 pound 3 ounces. That's bigger than expected. That's going to be. I would think this will definitely now put them in the lead.
Yeah. So boys, you've moved back into the lead. How's the pressure feeling?
All right at the minute. Yeah, not feeling too bad.
It's just sticking to the plan. We're just fishing to our strengths, really. We're not doing anything
special, even though it's a final, than we would on a pleasure session. So we've got a better bait out that's the idea is to keep them captive. We know it's only going to fire for a certain amount of time, then it's a top up which will scare them, and then we've got the other 2 rods with a couple of spare spots searching out the bite as it comes.
So, quick dash round to peg 2, and as you can hear by me panting, Rob, I need to do a bit more fitness.
Absolutely. Now, another peg with a bit of track record, this one. Mark Bartlett and Kev Hewitt won from here 2 years ago. Starting to come alive now, mate. There it is, it's in the net. They're going to be very happy with that one. Game on.
So this is Sean and Lee's first fish of the competition. They did lose one last night, unfortunately, and that looks to be a decent fish, Rob.
Oh, that's an absolute cracker.
It's
It looked big when it was on the way in. That's going to be £30 plus every single day of the week. That is a brilliant, brilliant fish. And this will be one of the stockies from Wraysbury. They've done incredibly well, stocked in at double figures.
So we are 24 hours into this competition now. I'm still with Rob Hughes. Rob, how do you feel it's going as a competition?
Well, it's interesting. It was a very, very slow start yesterday afternoon, wasn't it? We thought there might be one or two fish out, but they didn't come straight away. And that was an indicator that the fish weren't going to be on it like a shot. Now, the night there was a few fish caught. This morning, that flurry of activity, it looked then that things might go ahead, but the majority of the fish have been coming out from that bottom end, which is interesting.
Which is unusual as well, isn't it?
Yeah, Bartlett and Hewitt, let's have a look at where we are with them. They had a really, really good start. They've had that cracking fish early doors. They've had a couple since then. The peg has now died on its backside. The fish have moved out from down there. I was talking to Kev and Mark about what's down there. Chin was down a little bit with Mark. He thinks the chance is gone now. Kev was looking in the back channel. No fish at all in there, or one or two very small ones. They seem to have moved out, but the wind's still poking up there, and they might well move back in again. So I don't think it's all over there. Simeon Bond, Mark Hutchinson, they've had a couple of fish now. They had that issue with the one in the weed, but they've had a big one as well, so they're effectively on a 3-fisher. So they're up there and thereabouts.
Quite early morning as well, weren't they?
Well, morning seems to be the time.
Definitely.
And I think it will absolutely be the time tomorrow. There's going to be the odd chance this afternoon. I think that chance is going to come from the deeper water, and I think it's probably going to be Russ Guys and Ian Jevons that will have those chances. But at the moment, Russ and Ian haven't done enough. They're in a nice position, but they're only £5 ahead of second place. Now, if Bart and Kev catch another one,
there needs to be £5-6 pounds, there isn't many fish under that in here, is there? So what would you call it if you had to call it now?
I think Russ and Ian have the best chance of winning. What they need to do is take that chance.
Brilliant. Well, thanks for your time and thanks for everything you've done this weekend, Rob.
No problem at all.
Let's take a quick look at what the scores are 24 hours into this match. In first place, we have new leaders Russ Geese and Ian Jevons with 4 fish for £77.4. Second place, Mark Bartlett, Kev Hewitt, 3 fish for £72.1. In third place, Simeon Bond and Mark Hutchinson with 2 fish for £46.10. In fourth place, Wayne Mansford and Ryan Need with 2 fish for £42.2. In fifth place, we have Simon Buckman and Gareth Evans with 2 fish for £38.10. We then have Dulson, Sims, Bennett, Palmer, Wilcox, Higgins and Bury all on 1 fish. So peg 7, Wayne Mansford, Ryan Need into their 3rd fish of the session. Currently the boys won £42, 2 ounces. So you can see Wayne there, keeping the tip nice and high. There's a big bed of weed out to the left of them. Keeping the tip high, trying to make the fish avoid the weed. And the fish is coming back, which is good. Ryan poised in the water with a net. That fish is coming towards them now. There's a little bit of weed over it, as you can see. Ryan just ensuring the net is perfect. Expertly done. Fish goes mad there.
There's one down there.
That's a fish these boys have been desperate for. And that looks to be a nice common. It's a very nice common. As I said, over the £20 barrier. and that's going to make a big difference to this boy's tally. Get him a little bit closer to that podium spot. So currently in peg 2, we've had a double take for Sean and Lee. They're calling both fish to be mid-20s. Now, if these fish go 50 pounds, we'll say, that'll put these guys into the lead. The current lead being held by Russ and Ian. So that looks to be a good fish. That's definitely a 20 pound fish. If not, it'll be close to the 30 looking at that. So it magically goes up. Does it go round once? It goes round once. Just over the 30 pound mark.
£30 5 ounces.
That's £30 5 ounce, and that isn't a cracking fish. That's two £30 plus fish for these guys. That puts them on £61 and 8 ounces. And that's the second fish, and that fish is well over the £16 mark. Might even be close to the weight of that first one. Another stunning mirror carp from Wraysbury. A testament to the amazing bailiffs that work down here. What's this going to go? Will it go round once? Nearly. £27 an ounce is the marshal will call it.
27.8.
That's £27 8 ounce, and that fish puts these pair into the lead. Boys, a double take, £57 and 13 ounces. Was there a change of tactics or something?
This morning we had a little change, yeah. Yeah, we had a change, that's all what we're going to say, to be fair.
And that's it, you obviously don't want to give everything away, because you've landed a £31 fish already. That's an incredible average, and those two fish have put you in the lead. What would it mean to you to win it?
It would be absolutely amazing if we won this competition. It'd be fantastic.
Yeah, we fished hard this year as well, so I'm done well at Boston, done well at B2, won that, so yeah, good.
So we've just flown from peg 2 back to peg 7, where we saw Wayne and Ryan land that fish earlier. We're going to weigh this fish now. They're now chasing £89 in the lead from that brace that we've just seen. £24 and 4 ounces. Putting these guys on £66 and 6 ounces. Well in contention. So no sooner have we finished with that fish in peg 7, we're straight round to peg 6 with Mark Bartlett and Kev Hewitt. They've got their 4th fish of the competition. Now Mark and Kev are on £72 1 ounce, and they're chasing 89. So if this fish goes over 17, these boys could be back in the lead. So a moment of truth then for Mark and Kev. They don't feel like it's going to go the £17 barrier. These guys, double champions, have won back-to-back. Could they do it for 3 years in a row? The marshals are all set up and waiting. Mark's looking very apprehensive. So will this fish go £17? It's going to be close. Again, putting these guys within a few pound of that lead. It's really difficult to keep track of what's going on at the minute. There's fish being caught at each end of the lake. And the lead keeps changing. Marshall will call it. It's so very, very close. A £16 10 ounce. That is 6 ounces under what they needed to go into the lead. So it's really starting to pick up pace here now at the British Carp Angling Championships. We are back in peg 2 with Sean and Lee, and they are into their 4th fish. Nerve-wracking times for our current leaders. Fish has gone right, it's gone left. Now it's gone back right, and he's going to have to try and avoid the other line. So Mark Bartlett and Kev Hewitt are only 6 ounces behind this pair at the moment. So this fish is going to make a big difference to him if they can get it in the net. Sean's making his way over there. Looks like he's going to get it. The net goes under. He's got it in the net, increasing their lead on Mark and Kev. So fish number 4, that's £18 6 ounces. That's £107 6 ounces for Lee and Sean, who are currently in the lead. So the 5th fish for Russ and Ian. This fish will take them into 2nd place. It's not quite big enough to take them into 1st. So as the day draws to an end, I'm joined by Dave. Dave, it's been an interesting day, hasn't it?
It has really. It started, the competition as a whole started slower this year than in previous years. The fish are in different spots to previous years.
Yeah, it has been a bit all over, hasn't it?
So it's been interesting, and the pairs that are leading
has kept changing.
Yes.
So 1 minute we've got Kevin Bart in the lead, then we've got Russ and Ian, and now we've got Sean and Lee. So it has changed quite a lot today, and that's great because that makes a great competition, doesn't it?
Oh, fantastic. I mean, Sean and Lee did a little tweak this morning, a little tactical change about 8:30, and almost immediately got a fish, then had a double take, and then I've got another one. So that shot them from nowhere into the lead in a few hours.
That's how quickly it can change on venues like this, can't it? These guys, some people sit there and sit on their hands and think that's right, but just a small little tweak they made, didn't they? And it put them 4 fish on the bank, and putting them 4 fish on the bank has got them in the lead.
Yeah.
Where do you think it might go through the night?
It was quite a night last night. Fairly busy early morning. Oh, it's so difficult to call.
There's been a lot of fish showing, hasn't there? Do you think, like in previous years, we've seen a lot of what we call the original fish coming out? Last year we had a couple of 40s, I believe. You know, we've had quite a few upper 30s this year. We've had a 32, a 31 and a 30. So we haven't seen any of the original fish. Do you think that, any reason behind that?
It could be. I mean, there's so many factors. I mean, it's been an extremely hot summer. The water levels are down. Are we a little bit earlier, a little bit later? You know, it could be all sorts of things that's put them off. Who can say? I mean, because normally, you're right, we'd normally seen 7 of them by now, and we haven't seen any. So hopefully.
But with everything being so close, I mean, Ryan Need and Wayne Mansford in 4th place, and it was £66 6 ounce. One of those original fish is quite easily 40, mid 40s. That's going to put them into a 1st place position. So we've got it so close at the minute, haven't we?
Yeah, I think there's any one of sort of 5 or 6 pairs that could really, with just 2 or 3 fish, could certainly.
I know I wouldn't want to call it at the minute. Would you care to make a prediction?
I do feel that Sean and Lee have got a little bit of a momentum purely and simply because this little change that they've done that seems to have worked.
Seems to have worked, yeah. So we're talking 10 hours fishing, they've had 4 fish, which, you know, on Wraysbury, 4 fish, and not only that, they had 3 fish for £89.
Yeah.
So it's obviously working for them. So we are into the final morning of the 2018 British Carp Angling Championships, and it was a quiet evening at the lake last night. Only 2 fish reported. Our current champions Mark Bartlett and Kev Hewitt have had 1 fish of 26.6. That will move those up into the lead. And in Peg 1, Josh Bennett and Martin Bennett have had 1 fish for £33, which moves those up into 5th. However, we have just heard that in Peg 7, Wayne Mansford and Ryan Need have had a big flurry of fish this morning. They've got 3 in the retainers waiting to be weighed and are currently £50 off the lead. So I think what we need to do is get down there, get those fish weighed and see if we have new leaders. So here's the first fish to be weighed. That's £21.11 for the first fish. So, second one going onto the scales, that's £22.7. Another lovely mirror carp. So this fish will put them into the lead ahead of Mark Bartlett and Kev Hewitt. £27 1 ounce. So, once again, we're back at the scales, just over £23. So that means that these guys are close to £40 ahead of second place. Wow, that's a flurry of fish this morning, Wayne, wasn't it?
Yeah, we needed it. When we got to Peg Friday, we knew it could do fish, but we haven't come here to catch like a couple of fish. We've come here to compete, so we come with a game plan, set the stalls out. Yesterday was a little bit quiet on the first night, but it seems to have paid off this morning.
I noticed on the first day, Ryan, that you made quite a lot of commotion for what people would have done in this swim. You used a lot of raking, you were tearing the place apart, what it looked in a lot of people's eyes. Was that part of your big plan?
Yeah, years gone by, this corner, this area, has always done the first fish. And when we come in here, we knew the fish was here, but we don't want to catch 1 or 2 fish. We want to try and get something strung together so we can keep going and going, and that's why we made a lot of disturbance, got it all out the way, and it started to pay off now. Just keep at it, see how it goes.
So no changes last night or anything, you just stuck to your game plan and it seems to be working this morning?
Yeah, it seems to be, wherever we've taken it really, it seems to be working. Like I say, we filled it in. We just didn't want to, we've seen people fish this before and catch the odd fish by just nicking them. We didn't want to nick a couple of fish. We haven't come for a podium place, we've come for that first spot, and so that's why we set the stall out with what we did.
Well, you've landed just shy of £100 of fish this morning. This puts you boys into the lead for the first time this weekend. without jumping the gun, what would it mean to you to win this competition?
We've grew up doing this competition, it means a lot. I can't really explain what it would mean. I mean, you've won it yourself, you know, it's amazing, you know what I mean? But let's not get ahead of ourselves, we've still got a fair few hours left. And you know yourself, it always fishes its head off in the last morning.
Yeah, we'll keep working hard, keep battling, and fingers crossed.
So here we have it. This is what every pair of anglers on this lake are aiming for, their name on this trophy. I'm lucky enough to have it on here, and I know how it feels. It was never about the money, and for these guys here, it isn't about the money. It's all about this moment, holding this trophy. Who's going to be on it this year? There's 19 gold plaques on there with 2 names on each plaque. Will it be Wayne Mansford and Ryan Need? Who knows? But in the next few hours, we're going to find out. With just 2 hours of this competition left, let's have a quick recap to the scoreboard. In first place, we have Wayne Mansford and Ryan Need. They have leapfrogged 3 positions with those 4 fish this morning, taking them to 7 fish for £160, 14 ounces. Mark Bartlett and Kevin Hewitt in second place. They're on 5 fish for £115.1. In third place, Sean Dawson and Lee Sims still on 4 fish for £107.6. So there's the scoreboard with just 2 hours of this match left. Can anybody catch Wayne and Ryan with their late charge this morning? At this point, this is where match mentality comes in. People are going to start doubting themselves now. Pegs that have caught fish but it slowed down, they might change something. That change might work, it might not, but it's that decision in your mind that can make all the difference. The match anglers that are always at the top of their game, they have a certain level of mentality where it is a no surrender. You will see the guys from the England international team never ever give up. Even if they've caught nothing, they will not stop because they know that a flurry like Wayne and Ryan have had this morning can make a massive difference in a competition like this. So with Wayne Mansford and Ryan Need, boys, there's just under an hour of this match left. Do you feel at this point that match mentality and experience can play a massive part?
I think it is for us in this peg here particularly. We can't force a bite. So, like I said earlier, we set our stall out on Friday. We had a game plan. We've stuck to it. We haven't got a lot of water to work with, so yeah, we're not going to thrash it about.
And spook potential fish that you could get bites off, because some people might, in this situation, think we're desperate for another fish and they might do something silly, perhaps.
Yeah, but I just think it depends what kind of swim you're in. I think the swim for us, we can't do that here. And I think if we was to keep casting or try and cast about and find a fish, it's just going to ruin our chances of another bite.
So with just 35 minutes of this match left, we're back in peg 2 with Sean and Lee. And they have got into what could possibly be their 5th Wraysbury carp. Their first 3 fish weighed a total of 89 pounds. So they've got a good average stamp of fish coming out of this lake. But as you can see, Lee there has very gently walking back with the rod tip up, just gently teasing the fish back, while partner Sean is in the water, waiting to cunningly snaffle that fish into the net. It needs to be over the 12-pound mark in order for them to get up a position on the podium. And now time to clear the net out and find out just how big this Wraysbury carp is. A guess there from Sean of around 28 pounds, which is a good size fish. That will put these guys within 1 fish of the lead. So the moment of truth now for Sean Dawson and Lee Sims, currently in 3rd place, £7.11 behind 2nd and £53 9 ounces behind the leaders, Wayne Mansford and Ryan Need. This fish is going to go on. Oh, that's a good fish. £29 7 ounce They're exactly £25 15 ounces behind Wayne Mansford and Ryan Need. Ten seconds of this match left. We are with our current leaders, Wayne Mansford and Ryan Need. Are they going to do it? It's time for that all-important hooter. Can we please have confirmation from peg 2? No fish on! Yes! New champions, Wayne Mansford and Ryan Need. Look at the emotion. These boys have worked for this for so long. Wayne, you've done it. You're the current British champion. How are you feeling, mate?
Emotional, if I'm honest. It's been a long time coming in that. 8 finals.
Worked so hard, mate.
I know, the draw was a bit of a kick in the teeth Friday to turn it around, and obviously the last 12 months with my mum, I wanted to do it for her, and my dad got me into this. He used to take me every weekend and drop me off, so I want to dedicate this to them.
Ryan, last year second, this year you've done it. How are you feeling, buddy?
I can't. It's emotional, very emotional. But yeah. It's just all the hard work, the years, look.
Everything's paid off, mate.
I can't.
We're really pleased for you. Everybody really is. Well done.
Cheers, mate. Cheers.
So that's it for this year down at the British Carp Angling Championships, and what an event it has been. It has to have been one of the closest matches I've seen on this venue. And what else can we say now but well done to Ryan Need and Wayne Mansford, our 2018 British Carp Angling Champions.